It's commonly thought to be that the guy with the biggest muscles is typically thought to be the strongest. And yes, while having larger muscles will enable you to lift heavier weight, having the most muscle making you the strongest is not always the case. For example, the infamous "Can I Clean Here" guy, Anatoly, weighing in at 172 pounds, can deadlift nearly 4 times his body weight.
It's the deadlift 290.
However, Ronnie Coleman, weighing 297 pounds in his prime, was able to deadlift 800 pounds, but this isn't even 3 times his body weight. Assuming Anatoly is natural, he is pound for pound stronger than Ronnie Coleman, who was blasting steroids at the time. So hypertrophy and strength are not exactly correlated. With that said, let's go ahead and look at the differences between the two, starting with hypertrophy. Google defines hypertrophy as the enlargement of an organ or tissue from the increase in size of its cells, or to put it simple, muscle growth. Hypertrophy occurs when muscles are put under hard tension, such as when you lift weights, do calisthenics, or really any sort of resistance movement. When your muscles are put under tension or damaged, your muscle fibers actually tear at the cellular level. But don't panic. These small tears are called micro tears. Your body sends signals to repair those tissues with new, thicker, and stronger tissue. Over time, the more you work your muscles, the more your body has to repair those tissues, and the more your muscles will grow. Not to mention, as your muscles grow larger, so can your strength potential. Bigger muscles are what allows you to be able to lift more weight. And that's hypertrophy in a nutshell. Now that we know what hypertrophy is, let's go ahead and take a look on how you can maximize hypertrophy. Train harder. Most people lack serious gains simply because they aren't training hard enough. Don't be afraid of the pain. Learn to embrace it. Also, be sure that you're training as close to muscular failure as possible. If the last rep in your set is feeling almost as easy as the first, that's a clear-cut sign you need to either do more reps or increase the weight. Next up, ensure that you are tracking your macros. Protein is the most important one as it helps repair and build new muscle, but be sure to account for fats and carbs as well. Fats, especially saturated fats, contain hormone building properties such as cholesterol, which is what testosterone is made from. And carbs are important for having the energy to lift in the first place. Having more energy means training harder, which means more muscle growth. A typical macro split looks like this. You can try following one of these splits, but it could boil down to personal preference. Lastly, a good rule of thumb is to ensure that you're taking in roughly 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. Next up, dial in your diet. Along with tracking your macros, you need to ensure that you're eating a hypertrophy-friendly diet. This not only means eating food high in protein, but also avoiding things like fast food and junk. Ensure that you are also getting 100% of the daily value of all of the micronutrients your body needs. Just remember, macronutrients control how you physically look, but micronutrients control how you feel. This next one really kind of depends on what situation you're currently in, but going on a bulk. If you're looking to build muscle, going on a bulk is the easiest way to do so. Bulking or being in a calorie surplus is the only way for you to actually gain weight. However, don't overdo bulking by doing a dirty bulk. This is going to put an unnecessary amount of fat onto your body in comparison to the amount of muscle gained. The best way to bulk is to eat about 200 to 500 calories more than your maintenance. For example, if somebody's maintenance calories is 2,500, their optimal bulking range would be 2,700 to 3,000 calories a day. This is what's called a clean bulk. Clean bulking is where you are in a calorie surplus, but you're not gaining much fat. While you will gain weight slower, more of that weight is going to be muscle rather than fat. And in case you're curious, here's a clear difference between somebody who clean bulked versus somebody who dirty bulked. To be honest, I kind of struggle with this next one, but be sure you recover and take rest days. Muscles grow outside the gym. While you may look pumped and slightly bigger after a hard gym session, that's just your muscles being full of blood, not you actually being any bigger or growing any muscle. Recovering is where your muscles actually grow. Good quality sleep at night from at least 7 to 8 hours is best for recovery, and taking at least 1 rest day a week also helps you recover faster and build more muscle. On top of that, if you went really hard on one muscle group, it wouldn't be wise to train it again the next day. Let your muscles rest. Lastly, try to avoid overtraining. It is possible to train too much and inhibit muscle growth. However, most of you out there are probably nowhere near the overtraining threshold, so don't be afraid to go really hard. To sum it all up, hypertrophy is simply when your muscles sustain damage through tension and your body sends proteins to repair damages and build bigger and thicker muscle. In order to maximize hypertrophy, you need to train hard and close to failure, track your macros, especially protein, eating a clean diet, going on a bulk but not overdoing it, being sure that you recover and taking rest days, and lastly, avoiding overtraining. Now that we've looked at hypertrophy, let's go ahead and switch gears and take a look at strength. Google defines strength as a type of exercise that improves muscular fitness by using resistance to make muscles work harder than they normally do. So strength is really just how well your muscles can perform. If somebody can bench press 225 pounds, somebody who can bench 315 pounds has muscles that perform better. They're stronger. Now that begs the question, how do you really get stronger? Well, your muscles have 2 types of fibers, type 1 muscle fibers, or slow twitch, and type 2 muscle fibers, or fast twitch. Slow twitch fibers contract slowly and produce low to moderate force. Slow twitch fibers are mainly used for long-term low to moderate tension, such as long-distance running, cycling, or maintaining posture. However, slow twitch fibers can also be utilized and grown when performing endurance lifts by lifting weight within 40 to 60% of your 1 rep max for lots of reps. Fast twitch fibers, on the other hand, contract fast and produce high amounts of force. Fast twitch fibers tire quickly compared to slow twitch fibers, which is why they are mainly used for explosive, short burst movements such as sprinting, jumping, and of course, heavy lifting. In order to train your fast twitch fibers, lift weights that are 80 to 95% of your 1 rep max for low amounts of reps. For example, if your 1 rep max bench press is 225 pounds, try lifting around 210 pounds for 3 to 6 reps. Once you get to a point where you can consistently lift that weight at least 7 times a set, that's a key indicator to up the weight. To sum it up, strength is how well your muscles perform. Strength is derived from slow and fast twitch muscle fibers. Slow twitch fibers are utilized for endurance movements and to sustain low to moderate tension, while fast twitch fibers are utilized for quick, explosive movements and to sustain high tension. Now that you know the differences between hypertrophy and strength, this begs a new question. Which one should you train for? Well, there's no definite answer, but if you want my advice, train for both. Train your compound movements like bench press, squat, and deadlift with weight that is very close to your 1 rep max for low amounts of reps and explosive movements. But also remember to train your isolation movements like bicep curls, tricep pushdowns, and lateral raises with higher reps and focus on the muscle itself. Training like this will ensure that you build both muscle and strength, although you can really train however you want. Professional bodybuilders don't train for strength. While bodybuilders may be stronger than the average gym goer, bodybuilders train strictly for hypertrophy. They train just to see how much muscle they can put on their body regardless of how much they can lift. And of course, aesthetics as well. For powerlifters, it's the opposite. Powerlifters train to lift as much as possible and not focus on building more muscle or training for aesthetics. So at the end of the day, train for whatever the hell you want. As long as you're consistent, that's all that really matters, man.